Hi, hello. Welcome to the episode of Isaiah's Newsstand. It's your host, Isaiah Edwards. The date is July the 7th, 2025. Hopefully, this episode finds you well, in good spirits, and high hopes. As for me, I'm doing pretty good. Happy Monday. Happy Garfield Day to you. Hopefully you're feeling good. Hopefully you're feeling well. Hopefully you got that lasagna today. I'd say I got myself a piece. It feels good to be back in line, getting that good shit. No, I don't know. I'm in a good mood. I'm in better spirits. It feels good to be back in the habit, so to speak. Though I will say, never love being at work. But it's nice to just get back to the routine. It's nice to feel better. I will say, we started off the day like my hand. I still got to talk about this damn hand. It still hurts a little bit, still bothers me a bit, and I want to say for like the first part of the day, first like couple hours before my first break, I was like, ow, okay, and then my throat was still a little ick. Okay, it's fine. Like overall, I'm managing. This is okay. We're doing fine. But I took some Advil and that cleared me right out. So that was good. I was like, all right, if that's what it took, that's what it took. And I've just been kind of vibing, and we've been going strong. So work went well. We went to the gym. I even got on all the equipment I wanted to get on. So that's great for a Monday. Shit. Yeah, so we in a good mood. We're in good spirits for that. Let's see. Let's turn the clock back. I want to do a little quick food corner. I mentioned it yesterday, so yeah, let's get into it today. Last night I whipped myself up something a little different, a little special. I just wanted to try it, I guess. I had heard this wave, and maybe this is just a thing that I saw on my own personal social feed, whatever. But tunicado. And I'm like, do you know what that is? Do y'all know what that is? Are you familiar with what tunicado is? I'm sure you can just kind of sound it out and go, oh, it's this and that put together, right? Well, I had to see it to believe it. And it was tuna and avocado working together in concert of some sort. I was seeing it in some kind of sandwich. Maybe it's a Panera thing. Maybe some kind of deli place is doing this little thing. But it looked yummy. I saw it and I'm like, you know what? I want to do something like that. And I was thinking, I was pondering, and I'm like, what do we want to do with this? How do we want to like tunicado it up? And I noticed that like a lot of variations had some kind of tomato, and I'm like, all right, I can work with that. I like tomato. That's good. And I said, you know what? Let's just make this super simple, right? Let's make a tunicado salad. You know what I mean? Let's just put it all together. Let's get that mayo middleman involved and let's get crazy with it. And went ahead and made this tunicado salad, and then I put it over my rice and veg. And I gotta say, chef's kiss. It was so good, y'all. It was so yummy. Maybe I'm just in the trenches here and I just eat this kind of food now and this is my life now. And like maybe to everyone else, I sound crazy. I sound like Shrek or something, eating like, I don't know, whatever the fuck he was eating. Or I'm eating some fucking grubs or something to people. But I love this meal. Like the way I would describe it, it was like an open face sushi situation where you just have like all of the tuna, you have all the rice, and it's just all in concert together, just waiting for you to just gobble it up. It was so good. I enjoyed it so much. I definitely would have it again. I love a meal that when you eat it, it makes you almost feel bad, like in a good way. Like, that's so decadent. I got away with it. Ooh, I'm so full. So yeah, and then also I felt like it just didn't do that much damage to me too, in terms of like diets and stuff like that. Like it's pretty in line with what I want to be eating in terms of like all the macros and yada yada yada. So yeah, I really enjoyed that meal. So yummy. And then at work actually, I on my first break, I've been craving pretzel. I've been craving pretzel, and it's like, well, Isaiah, you have pretzels at home. I'm like, yeah, I know, but y'all know what I mean when I say pretzel. Longtime listeners know what my heart wants when I say that. I want a soft pretzel. I want a hot, soft, salted pretzel. And to be fair, I still am on the hunt. I am still in hot pretzel pursuit. But I settled. I've been ready to settle. And I wanted like a pretzel sandwich. I'm like, I'll even take a pretzel sandwich. And at work, every once in a while, we will get a pretzel sandwich. Exactly what I'm looking for. With like lettuce, tomato, they give you a little mustard, mayo with it. The only thing was the last time it was in, they only had it with roast beef, and I was like, I kind of wish you had this with ham. Like a ham version of that would be just molto bene, like perfect for me. But this time they still didn't have ham. They came back with it though, with the roast beef, and I said, you know what, snatch, give it to me. I want it. So I had that in like a Gatorade, and it was good. It was yummy. I devoured it. It definitely hit the spot. Well, I'll say it hit a spot. It was close to the spot. It'll hold me over until I get a certified pretzel. I think. I hope. Let us pray. But no. Overall, things are good. Things are better. I feel like I'm in better spirits. I'm overall feeling better. The vibes are better. You know what I just need now? I just gotta make it to the weekend. I just gotta get back to Northside, baby. That's what I need. That's all I need, and then we're good. We're back in Shangri-La doing our thing. Also, I was scrolling the web, and my favorite trash bar apparently is like a big attraction, at least in some kind of I don't know, online thing. They're posting like all these like top dive bars or whatever, and Junkers made the list. And of course I found it, like there was just like a bunch of like kikiing like people just like, ugh, I would never go here, ugh, gross, blah. And I'm like, I'm here every Saturday. So yeah, it was nice to see that. Nice seeing some representation, even though this is probably bad publicity because it just means we're gonna see like more yuppies at the bar. Ugh. Anyway, but hey, I was once one of those out-of-towners with like, green gills, nothing better to do, a couple dollars in my name. I don't know what to like. What do we even get here? The shots are so big. Anyway, so yeah, no, we're good. I think we're good to go. So yeah, let's go ahead and do our startup. Let's get into some news. We have a lot of news today. I know I did like 2 offbeat episodes. It felt like I was kind of spinning my wheels a bit. I knew the news was out there, just waiting for me. And sure enough, I found it on Monday. So yeah, we got a lot to chew through, but hopefully we get through it at a pretty timely pace. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Ooh. All right. Our first story comes from CNN. Israel bombs Houthis in Yemen after rebels attack commercial ship for first time in months. Israel has carried out its first strikes against Houthi targets in Yemen since the Israel-Iran ceasefire, attacking ports and a power plant around midnight local time Sunday night into Monday morning. The strikes came after at least 3 Houthi ballistic missiles were launched at Israel, according to the Israel Defense Force, or the IDF, including one missile that was intercepted Saturday. And I love clocking this. The Iran-backed Houthis, you gotta let them know. Hey, who's backing them? Iran. That's why we had to bomb. That's why we had to bomb them. They're the axis of resistance. They're the new axis of evil. I just hate this bullshit shit that like legacy media loves pumping. But anyway, the Iran-backed Houthis also claim responsibility for an attack on the bulk carrier Magic Seas in the Red Sea on Sunday, the first on commercial shipping in the region by the rebels this year. Israel struck the ports of Hodeidah, Ras Isa, Salif, and Ras Kanadib power plant along the Red Sea. The IDF also hit the Galaxy Leader, a cargo ship seized by the Houthis in November of 2023. Houthi forces installed a radar system on the ship and have been using it to track vessels in the international maritime arena to facilitate further terrorist activities, the IDF said in a statement following the strikes. So like, hey, that's why we had to do that, by the way. Like, I'm sure there's some, rich guy who's mad, like, oh, you guys hit my ship. What the fuck? And like, they had to explain that. I imagine that's why they went out of their way. Well, it's being used for terrorist stuff. We had to bomb it. Defense Minister Israel Katz said the strikes were part of the newly named Operation Black Flag. They're crazy with the fucking names. In a statement on social media, Kat said the Houthis will continue to pay a heavy price for their actions and promised more attacks would follow if the Houthis kept launching drones and ballistic missiles at Israel. The Houthi military confirmed the strikes, but said the Yemeni air defenses effectively confronted the Israeli aggression using a massive barrage of locally manufactured surface-to-air missiles. In a short statement on Monday morning, there have been no immediate reports of casualties from the strikes. We're just going to go ahead and fast forward here. In May, the Houthi group, which controls much of the northern and central Yemen, agreed to halt attacks on U.S. warships in the Red Sea after more than a month of airstrikes by U.S. forces on strongholds and military infrastructure. But it did not pledge to end attacks on other shipping with alleged connections to Israel, and has continued to fire ballistic missiles at Israel in support of Palestinian population, in support of the Palestinian population in Gaza. So yeah, they're still at it. Even if you have a ship and they're like, oh, it doesn't necessarily like have a known Israeli backer, they'll be like, no, we did our research and we were saying that this is an Israeli backed thing. Like it's operated by, some, Israeli group, faction, person, whatever. And so that's why we're attacking it. So yeah, that's still an ongoing thing. That's just not done. So, we're back in that area, and I guess Israel's like, yeah, we're going to be back to doing our shit over there. So yeah. Let's see. Our next story, an update coming out of Kenya from Reuters. Kenya anti-government protests leave 10 dead and dozens injured. Police open fire. Kenyan police fired to disperse demonstrators in Nairobi, marking the 35th anniversary of pro-democracy rallies on Monday. And police said 11 people were killed nationwide in the latest anti-government protests to end the bloodshed. The death of blogger Albert Ojwang, I should have said this multiple times and got it right by now, but I haven't. I'm sorry. In police custody last month has given the protests fresh impetus, fueling anger against the authorities and bringing hundreds onto the streets. Now, this is, like I said, something we've talked about before. These protests have, gone on not just recently as of this year, but we've talked about them in year prior. I didn't know that this is like the 35th anniversary of like pro-democracy stuff and all that, like kind of culminating all together. But I mean, that's cool that this has been like such an ongoing struggle. Sad that it has to keep happening and it's been going on for so long, and that people are being, oppressed and suppressed and, all these kind of ways. But cool that the spirit hasn't died. You know what I mean? Good that people are still fighting it. It's like, look, we believe in this. We deserve this. This is our right to be free and like just assemble and not be forced to like live under these conditions where we can't afford to even exist. Like they're fighting for their own existence. And I think that it's good that they're able to keep doing it and they haven't been stopped by the president, by this fucking brutal fucking, police arm. None of the shit. Not even the fucking legal system, the courts, where they kind of do a little bit of appeasement, then they try to do some in runs around to still get the thing that they want done. I mean, just like any fucking nation state. But like I said, it's good that people are still fucking fighting. I guess is really what I'm trying to say here. Let's see here. Kenya's police said 11 people had died while 52 officers have been injured. It did not say who was responsible for the killings. Preliminary reports indicate fatalities, injuries, damage to motor vehicles, and several incidents of looting, police said in a statement. Let's see here. What else did I really want to pull? I think that's more or less it. There's some more recaps, and of course, there's more details, of course. But, I just wanted to highlight, unfortunate that more people have passed since we last covered this story, but obviously that's relevant. We are going to segue to our next week's story, but as I'm thinking about it, I know we've talked about Texas all weekend. I think the number of fatalities now, like as we're going, shifting sadly into from the rescue to the recovery phase of things, it's looking around 100, over 100. I think the last number I saw was like over 104. I believe a lot of people passed from that Mystic Camp, the children's camp situation. A lot of kids, and I think even like at least one staff member. So yeah, obviously very grim, very unfortunate there. But felt like I needed to say that before we get to our next story. Anyway, we're back on fucking Epstein. Yikes. From NPR. DOJ says no evidence Jeffrey Epstein had a client list or blackmailed associates. Like, this is a crazy 180, dude. Like, this is some hand Houdini shit that the Trump administration is trying to do right now. And it's like, it's their own fault. Like, they did this shit to themselves. Put gun in hand, put it to your foot. Like, they did that. So I don't, like, like, okay, gotta get into it now. The Justice Department and the FBI have found no evidence that disgraced financier and convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein had a client list or that he blackmailed prominent associates. The conclusions are included in a 2-page memo. I feel like I said bimbo or mimbo. I don't know. Anyway, 2-page memo outlining the exhaustive review the department conducted of the Epstein files in its possession. The memo also states that after thorough investigation, the FBI found that Epstein died by suicide, which aligns with the previous department conclusions. Which, the audience loved hearing that. Everyone was like, "Oh, okay, that's great," and they moved on with their day. Everyone was like, "Yeah, that's fine." No, this pissed off everybody. Everyone got mad. Oh my God. The findings contradict past statements from Attorney General Pam Bondi about an alleged list of Epstein clients, and it's unclear if the memo will tamp down on the continued public skepticism about the Epstein case, particularly his suicide. This motherfucker came out with a binder, or like multiple binders, if I'm not mistaken, saying like, "Hey, we got all this information." You know what I mean? Like, we're just like, sorting through it all. Or she's like, "I got all this shit and more on my desk." Like, okay, where is it? And then you go, "Oh, we don't have anything. Like, we looked through everything and it's all bullshit, actually. Move along." Oh, and by the way, we're just going to paraphrase a little bit of this shit. But essentially, they're like, "We have footage of Epstein's, like, the common area. And, like, there's a camera where Epstein's room is in view. And we can see that no one came in or out of it. So this proves that it's a suicide. We're done now. That's it." And it's like, dude, that doesn't work. Like, that people are gonna be like, "That's not evidence," and they could easily be like, you're giving us like edited fucking bullshit. There's nothing here. Like, no, like, that's not enough. We want more. Give us more. And essentially, they're like, "No, we're good. That's it. You're welcome. We did all the work. We told you we would, and we did it." It's like, no. At some point here, the Trump administration is lying. Bondi here is lying. Cash Patel, motherfucking Dan Borderimo, wherever the fuck his fucking name is. These motherfuckers lied to you. I mean, I lied to all of us, I guess, but I was not listening to these motherfuckers. Because I knew that there wasn't going to be any difference between this administration and the other administration. Like, at the end of the day, I think the information that we have is kind of what we're going to get. Like, what people have been able to find and get, like, revealed or released, whatever, is what we have. And then speculation. We should have more. I think the FBI, I think, the government bodies that be definitely have the information. There's definitely more here. But are they going to give it up? No, I don't think so. So, I mean, that sucks. That's a bummer. I know, what was it? Elon Musk, he posted about it, of course. He posted like some meme about it, with like angry emojis or whatever. But the thing about that is, it's like, my dude, there's pictures with you and Ghislaine Maxwell. So, like, what are we doing here? What are we doing here, bro? What are we talking about? You're just as in bed with this shit. Like, you definitely talk to the motherfucker one way or another. Don't lie. So yeah, no, everyone's tangled up in this shit. Trump, the Clintons, Musk, fucking Stephen Hawking, Bill Gates, like, shit. I mean, all kinds of motherfuckers are tied to Epstein one way or another. There's some thread that connects, because this motherfucker networked his ass off so that he could get into a lot of rooms and have a lot of power and have a lot of fucking influence to do the shit that he wanted to do, which was evil and gross and disgusting. But it allowed him to get away with a lot of shit, which included like getting arrested and convicted, put in jail, but then like being able to leave jail. Like, what the fuck? Epstein's crazy, dude. The whole Epstein thing is crazy. Anytime I go back to it, it's wild that there's still shit to talk about, and like that shit's just so before I feel like even my time getting into podcasting. Like I came in on the tail end of it, but there's just still so much. You know what I mean? So wild that the Trump administration tried to just throw this out here and be like, yep, there's nothing here. It's actually a nothing burger. All right, let's get back to it. Anyway, there's other things, blah, 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 la, la, la. It's like, no, dude, people are not happy about this. Now, granted, do I think it's going to change things in terms of the tenor or the perspective of like most Trump supporters, most MAGA heads? No. I think this is more a bad vibe, a sour note for like the conspiracy heads who thought that like Trump really is going to get to the bottom of this. But it's like, you should have known when fucking Pam Bondi came out with that, once again, that binder shit and was inviting influencers over to come look at it or whatever. And you didn't hear anything new. You heard nothing new. You should have known this was like fucking a big old goose chase. You know what I mean? So I'm not surprised to see the nothing dud of fucking, release statement like this. It's unfortunate, but not surprising. Like I said, you're going to get about the same amount of fucking bullshit that you got out of the Biden administration out of this shit, which is kind of nothing, unless some handy dandy, I don't know, podcasters or some shit or whoever in the know can, leak that shit or something. That would be interesting. That'd be cool. And then, I'll be right back on it. But, yeah. In terms of like, does this change or affect how I feel about any of this? No, not really. I really don't love any of the Epstein conspiracy shit. I think there's a lot of threads out there. I tend to just kind of want to look at the information that's kind of presented to me and go off of that. In terms of like how I feel like, oh, did he hang himself? Like, who did it? I don't know or care, man. Like, and I know that sounds like a bad cop-out answer. It doesn't matter anymore. The fact of the matter is the dude is not here anymore. He's just dead. And there's other motherfuckers out there. There's other pedophiles. There's other motherfuckers with power and juice and control who are doing shit. And I would just rather focus on them. And I do think that there are threads that are connected to the living from Epstein, and these motherfuckers are still out there doing fucking foul shit, and they should be locked up. But, I mean, do I think the Department of Justice is doing anything about that? Hell no. And I'll leave it at that. I know. A bit of a rush through the brambles there, but let's move on. That actually wasn't the main story to me. We've been there, we've done that. I wanted this story, actually. This is my crown jewel for the day. We've covered so much shit. This is the one I heard at the top of the day, and I like clap my hands like a little dirty little fly. And I know it's fucked up. People died. It's unfortunate. Don't get me wrong. But this is a true crime now moment. What can I say? I am of that ilk. I do love a good true crime now moment. And we're back on the mushroom murder trial. Yo, we got a verdict. So yeah, from CNN. Mushroom murder trial. Jury finds Australian woman deliberately killed lunch guests with poisoned beef Wellington. Erin Patterson, the Australian woman accused of killing 3 relatives with a meal of death cap mushrooms baked in a beef Wellington lunch, has been found guilty of 3 counts of murder and the attempted murder of the lone survivor. A 12-member jury reached the verdict after around 6 days of deliberation following a 10-week trial in Morwell, a tiny town about an hour's drive from the suburban dining room in Leongatha, Victoria, where the lethal lunch was served in July of 2023. Dozens of media crews raced to the court when it was announced the jury had reached a verdict in the case that has captivated audiences worldwide and spawned 4 podcasts dedicated to unpacking each day's evidence. See, I'm about that shit. During weeks of testimony, Patterson was accused of deliberately tainting the lunch with death cap mushrooms, highly toxic fungi that she picked after seeing their location posted on a public website. In the days after, her former parents-in-law, Dawn and Gail Patterson, died, along with Gail's sister, Heather Wilkinson. Heather's husband, Ian, their local pastor, survived after a weeks-long stay in the hospital. Her defense lawyers argued the deaths were a terrible accident that occurred when Patterson tried to improve the taste of a meal that she repeatedly lied to police out of panic when she realized she may have foraged mushrooms to the mix, or may have added foraged mushrooms to the mix. Which I feel like she lied a couple times too, where she's like, no, I think I shopped and I got bad ones. And then she's like, no, I think I just foraged for bad ones. Then there's like her in like a chat group, I think trying to figure out either like how to dispose of them or whatever. Then there's camera footage, or not camera footage, but there's like evidence of her like with the what's like the food processor that was used for the mushrooms that she disposed to after the deaths. So it's like, honey, your fingerprints are on that, quite literally on that. So that's not a good look for you. And you're switching up your stories on this shit. And she's like, well, and the defense is like, we don't really have a motive. There's no motive. She's well off. Like, it wouldn't have hurt her to have this divorce. It's like, no, she seemed very upset about this divorce. And she's like, well, she loved her parents. What do you mean? Like, she loved her in-laws. And it's like, not according to these social media posts. It's almost like in these social media posts, she's saying that the parents should have been doing more to like keep this marriage going for her, like fighting for it or something. And it's like, maybe they didn't like you, dude. Maybe they didn't fuck with your vibe, bro. And I mean, apparently even the the husband didn't fuck with her. She tried to say, hey, I have cancer, you gotta come to my dinner, you gotta come to my beef Wellington lunch. And I remember I was very touched, not by the cancer, but the idea of someone making a beef welly. That is a big dinner meal for me. That's one of my dream dinners. I've never had a beef welly. I want one so bad. I've been planning it, but it costs a lot of money where I'm at to like go to a place, a little swanky place, and like do that. And I ain't got that kind of fucking money. And making one sounds really hard. You gotta do like food wrapping and stuff. It's so complicated. But no, she's like, I'm gonna make not one, not two, but Wellingtons for everybody. Everybody gets a welly. And like the husband's like, nah, I'm good. That's how you know the vibe's not right. And I mean, hey, I guess maybe the parents were just being nice. And then, you got the other couple as well, coming through. I mean, damn, like the local pastor goes caught astray. He had to fight for his life. That's wild. So that she could get her revenge. Like, that's essentially what she was trying to do here. Now, once again, according to her, according to the lawyers, they're like, nah, that's not the vibe, bro. But it looks like a jury felt otherwise. They seem to feel like the evidence was damning. And I agree. I think that she was pretty guilty on this shit. It seemed like she kind of tried to waffle her way through it and then was just like, hey, we're just going to run it and see. From what I heard, her general disposition was like very jovial. Like, she seemed pretty happy. She seemed pretty okay, on even keel, until the verdict was, kind of mentioned. And I mean, she didn't like overreact or whatever, but she was like, I think, pretty eyes glued to the jury. So I was like, ooh, awkward. But yeah, I mean, it's very unfortunate that, pretty much, a whole family lost their lives. Like, she just like, boom, 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 killed like what, 3 people over some what? Like just a nasty little divorce, or, you weren't getting your way. That's crazy. And to go through all these links to make it happen so that you could get away with it, like the perfect crime or something. Oops-a-daisy, I accidentally death cab for cutie. Like, I don't know, man. It's a wild play. It's a wild play. So I was very intrigued by this for all maybe the wrong reasons. I don't know. But I was very interested to see the verdict. We will definitely be back for the sentencing. But yeah, no, what was it? That's just crazy, man. You kill so many people. Also, another reason too that I think like that seemed pretty damning to me as well. And maybe you could say it's circumstantial, but this was something that I remember hearing when I was listening to the BBC, was the way that the whole thing was set up. She's like, I'm gonna have this lunch, with the family. But then she also made sure that her parents, or not her parents, her children, her own children, were out of the house. So they were going out to see a movie or something. And then once again, everyone got individual Wellingtons. She had to get her a Wellington. Also, another thing that was also very damning, she faked that she got sick as well. She's like, I got me too. I fucked myself up. But it's like, no, you prepared all of these and yours didn't have it. So you're faking it. Like, we know you're faking it. You're fine. Everyone else is dead and or fighting for their life at that point. So it's like, oh, awkward. But yeah, like I said, a real boomer of a tale. I don't know. Anyway, let's move on to our next story because there's more. We got more news from USA Today. Three officers injured in shooting at Texas Border Patrol facility. Armed man killed. An armed man was killed after exchanging fire with law enforcement officers at a Texas Border Patrol facility on July 7th. The Department of Homeland Security confirmed to USA Today. This morning, an individual opened fire at the entrance of the United States Border Patrol Sector Annex in McAllen. Department of Homeland Security spokesperson Tricia McLaughlin said in an email. The city in South Texas is in Hidalgo County along the Mexican border. Both Border Patrol agents and local police helped neutralize the shooter. McLaughlin said 2 officers and 1 Border Patrol employee suffered injuries in the incident, including 1 shot in the knee, the spokesperson said. The Border Patrol Rio Grande Valley sector said an active shooter incident took place at the Rio Grande Valley Border Patrol Sector Annex, and the shooter died, according to the agency's social media page. The shooter's identity is Ryan Lewis Mosqueda, who officials said opened fire at the entrance of the Border Patrol Sector Annex. The airport has since reopened. So yeah. Mosqueda was 27 years old. He was confirmed dead. So yeah, I mean, that was just an update that felt like was worth talking about. Don't know if we're gonna have more like that in the future. But yeah, who knows? Tomorrow's a mystery, Anyways, we have one more thing to cover. This was actually something I forgot yesterday. I literally had it on the docket, had it tabbed, ready to go. And I just said, oopsie-daisy, and just forgot. I just started talking about the thing and then said, okay, that's the end of the episode. Bye-bye now. And that's my bad. But yeah, no. Let's recall some recalls. Anyway, I gotta take one last break and we'll close it out. Ooh. Ooh. Okay. From People. Costco issues recalls for several items, including some that consumers should stop using immediately. All right, so we're just going to do a quick rundown on some of these items. Oh, boy. Customers who bought a Danby brand U-shaped window air conditioner between June 10th of 2021 and February of 2022, or this seems old as hell. Yeah, that's weird. This is a new story. I was like, why would you have these built from so old? And then I guess there's one from May of 2025. Are being warned to stop using the units immediately as they present a risk of mold growth. So yeah, you don't want mold in your air conditioner, in your AC unit, because then you're blowing mold into your room, into your house. So that would be bad. So, obviously get that back to Costco. You can get that repaired. Consumers who wish to repair their unit can have a technician do so, or they can be sent a free repair kit that includes a new drain plug and bubble level, depending on the model. They can also get a full or prorated refund based on the purchase date or the date of the unit's manufacture. That's crazy that you might have had that for so long and it just had mold in it. I'd be so pissed. And you want me to fix it myself? No, get fucked. You're definitely fixing this. You're definitely giving me a goddamn refund. I'd be so mad. Anyway, the next one. Anchor power banks, which I actually am an Anchor power bank user. I have been using those for a long time, since my old car. What is it? What's it called? The car adapter. It broke. It was broken. So anytime I would put something in it, it would melt the thing. It would literally melt the wire. It was so bad. So I was like, okay, I need to find a way to keep my phone charged. So I just got a power bank, and Anchors are pretty good. They're pretty cost effective. They have varying models. You can get big ones that can power like your laptop, type of thing. or just power a thing for a very long time in general, I generally just go for like a little pocket one or big pocket one, I guess you could say. But they work pretty well. But apparently not these. These were overheating. Yeah, may overheat, posing a potential fire safety risk. So that's not good. Once again, these are sold June 1st of 2016 and December 31st, 2022. I hate that, like, old recall number years like this. Usually they don't go this far back. I mean, I get that you have to in the situation. You've established there's a problem and you're going to finally come out with a statement. But that's crazy that it took years like this to kind of come out with something like this. Like, goddamn, should have been a little faster, Costco. As for the tires, Bridgestone's Blizzak 6 tires. Blizzak. Sorry, I had weird thoughts. Michelin Agilis Cross Climate C metric tires. Now that's a tire name. There you go. Have both been recalled. The Bridgestone tires, which were sold as replacements only, do not bear the DOT certification symbol on the tire sidewalls and therefore do not comply with the tire making requirements in the Federal Motor Vehicle Safety Standard 139. The Michelin tires, for their part, also do not meet the tire making requirements and are being recalled as chunks of tread rubber may detach from shoulder block. So that's not good. That's not good, especially on the ladder there. Bowflex 552 adjustable dumbbells are also being recalled by Costco due to reports that the weight plates can dislodge from the handle during use, posing impact hazard. That's not good. No good there. Go ahead and get those returned or, exchange. You know the vibe. You know the fucking vibes. Let's see. And this is a quick rundown. We're going to try to just blitz through these. 18 packs of Topo Chico mineral water glass. I don't fuck with Topo Chico, so that's not my thing. Igloo 90 quart flip and tow rolling cooler. The Ninja Foodie pressure cooker plus air fryer. The Segway 9bot electric kick scooter. The Sub Blue underwater scooter. As well as the Kirkland signature severe cold and flu items, plus multiple products from Fresh and Ready Foods, prepared sandwiches, and salads. Look, y'all, this was a lot. This is a whole pinata of shit. And I know, it's like, I say, why do you cover these lame-ass, boring-ass recalls? I don't know. You could say maybe this is our filler, whatever. But I do think that sometimes it's important. You want to hear some of this shit. And then, like I said, hearing that some of this shit has been needing a recall for years. And then, now it's finally getting done. I realized listening to some podcasts like Swindled that, like, businesses will just blatantly kind of not give a shit. They'll drag their ass. Now, I will say we've covered a lot of businesses that do get on it quickly, and that's good. But sometimes they fucking don't. And, like, I'm not saying I'm here to hold these motherfuckers accountable, but it is good to be like a reminder that these are things that are happening. I know I can be on autopilot, just living my day to day, buying this, that, and the third. But, like, seeing these recalls does give me pause. It does give me that reminder of, like, hey, the thing you buy could accidentally, oopsie-daisy, kill you maybe on, breakage. But, I don't know. I think it winds up in some total mattering. And then also sometimes it just helps me kind of see things. And I mean, maybe I'm making patterns up out of thin air, but, like, I just remember being like, goddamn, we're seeing a lot of listeria, no? We're seeing a lot of bird stuff, no? Like, these were things that matter throughout the years to me when I kind of start looking at it. So that's why I like talking about it. So that's why it makes the cut. And we've talked about why I don't cover car recalls. But anyway, that's really it. That's all I have for today. A bit of a long episode, a bit of a deluxer, kinda, sorta. But that's it. That's all we got. If you'd like to help out, support the effort, I do have a Patreon. Patreon.com/IsaiahNews. Become a newsie today. Free ways to help out free ways to contact me. You can hit up IsaiahNews1@gmail.com. Feel free to follow me or the podcast on any of the socials. It helps out the effort. We're trying to grow a brand here. It is cool to see more, like, Instagram followers. I literally just post the thumbnail, and cool that people will just follow for that. That's cool. I see you. What's up, Instagram? What's up, IG? Also, I do have an X account, Twitter, whatever you want to fucking call it, Elon's app. I'm there. I'm posting. And I mean, I also have my own app there as well, or my own page. You know what I mean? My own profile, whatever. But yeah, you can just hit me or the podcast up. I'm there. You can, you can bounce on the DM. I don't know, whatever. Not in a weird way. Anyway, let's see here. Free ways to help out, support the effort, keep up with the Joneses. Subscribe to the YouTube. Hit that subscription button. Click, click. Leave a like. Leave a cool comment. Sharing the episode's always cool. But also, if not YouTube, TikTok. If not TikTok, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts. Those are all good. Any platform you want to follow me on, keep up with, that's great. Whatever you're listening to right now totally works for me. But yeah, that's it. And I appreciate you just listening. I know I don't say that enough. I know I can kind of breeze through that. But it really is cool just to have people that just tune in and just lurk, just have me on in the background vibe, have me on a trip. I think that's sweet. Let me know that shit when you do. I think that's just cool. You know what I mean? But yeah, thanks so much for tuning in. Thanks so much for being a friend. And hopefully I see you soon for some more good news. I love ya. Bye-bye. Mwah.